Jimmy Cliff, the legendary Jamaican musician who introduced reggae to the world, passed away at the age of 81. Known for his powerful voice and profound songs, Cliff's influence transcended music, connecting cultures and inspiring generations. His family confirmed that he died peacefully at home, following complications from pneumonia and a seizure. The world mourns not only an extraordinary artist but also a man whose life embodied the spirit of resilience, creativity, and hope. From his early days in Somerton, Jamaica, to stages around the globe, Jimmy Cliff's music carried messages of unity, faith, and freedom. Even as he faced illness and withdrew from public life, his voice continued to resonate, leaving a legacy that remains timeless. Tonight, fans honor his life and contributions, remembering the man who sang for the world, letting his music cross boundaries and touch hearts everywhere. A life between glory and silence. In recent years, Jimmy Cliff gradually withdrew from performing. Since 2020, he limited public appearances, his body showing the toll of time and illness. During award ceremonies in Kingston, he often needed crutches to walk on stage, a quiet reminder of his physical struggles. By 2023, Cliff had largely disappeared from the public eye, living a quiet life with his wife, Latifah Chambers, in Montego Bay. His health worsened in 2024, with doctors diagnosing chronic pneumonia. Despite these challenges, he continued to write music, keeping a notebook beside his bed to capture every fleeting idea. This dedication reflected his lifelong belief that music should live on, even when the artist could no longer perform. Cliff's withdrawal was not abandonment, but a deliberate choice to protect the purity of his art and live with dignity, a lesson his family revealed only after his passing. The final days of a music icon. In September 2025, Jimmy Cliff's health took a turn for the worse. He was admitted to the University Hospital of the West Indies in Kingston, where he remained conscious and surrounded by family. Even in his final days, he requested to listen to his own song, Many Rivers to Cross, a piece that symbolized his life's journey and struggles. On November 24th, Cliff passed away peacefully in the arms of his loved ones. His family honored his wishes for a simple farewell, scattering most of his ashes into the sea at Montego Bay, the place where he had begun his musical journey. His passing was marked not by grand ceremonies but by quiet remembrance, as music and memory became the final voices celebrating a man who dedicated his life to melody and meaning, a daughter's revelation. Shortly after the funeral, Lily Cliff, Jimmy's eldest daughter, stepped forward to share insights into his silent years. She revealed that her father had lived with pneumonia and heart disease for 2 years but chose to remain private, not wanting pity from others. During his time in Montego Bay, he continued writing music, leaving behind fragments of thoughts in a notebook. Lily explained that Cliff's withdrawal from public life reflected his desire to preserve the essence of his music, which he believed belonged to the people rather than the industry. He often spoke of his audiences in Kingston with warmth and nostalgia, and even in silence, his work continued to inspire. Her revelations offered the public a deeper understanding of the man behind the music, a thoughtful, reflective creator who valued meaning over fame. The challenges of fame. By the mid-1970s, Jimmy Cliff had become a global icon, celebrated for singing about peace, equality, and freedom. Yet fame brought pressures and contradictions. He faced offers from major record labels but chose independence to preserve the authenticity of his music. His commitment to cultural integrity often led to misunderstandings, with some seeing his quiet demeanor as distance or disinterest. Cliff's life reflected the tension between public expectation and personal conviction. Despite challenges, he remained a voice of integrity, emphasizing that music belongs to the people, not the market. This principle guided him throughout his career, shaping both his creative decisions and his personal philosophy. His ability to balance global recognition with rooted authenticity remains a hallmark of his legacy. Period of reflection and solitude. In the early 1980s, Jimmy Cliff faced a period of personal and professional turbulence. After leaving Island Records due to a copyright dispute, he moved to England, exploring new musical directions while confronting internal struggles. Friends described a period of solitude during which Cliff battled depression and distanced himself from the music industry. Yet even in this quiet phase, he remained connected to his art, reflecting on identity, purpose, and creativity. In 1991, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, a recognition that marked both achievement and introspection. Afterward, he returned to Jamaica, revisiting his childhood and adult memories, suggesting a man seeking understanding and meaning beyond fame. These years of reflection laid the foundation for the calm and measured approach to life he would embrace later, a return to Jamaica and new faith. By the mid-1990s, Jimmy Cliff settled permanently in Jamaica. Embracing Islam, he legally changed his name to Alhaj Naim Bashir and found peace in faith. This period marked a return to community and purpose, as he focused on personal growth and cultural contribution rather than commercial success. Cliff remarried Latifah Chambers and welcomed a family, building a life rooted in simplicity, love, and reflection. Music became a tool for healing and connection rather than a path to fame. He traveled to Africa and the Middle East, sharing experiences and inspiring others through music and faith. His calm demeanor and humility during this time reflected a man at peace with life, understanding that legacy is shaped not just by accolades, but by impact on the lives of others. Musical and cultural ambassador. In the 2000s and 2010s, Jimmy Cliff continued contributing to global culture through music, charity, and education. He became a UNESCO Peace Ambassador, advocating for music as a bridge between communities. Albums like Rebirth reflected a matured artistic voice, combining reflection, forgiveness, and wisdom. While he rarely gave interviews or performed publicly, his influence remained pervasive. Young musicians looked to him as an inspiration, and audiences worldwide appreciated his artistry. He demonstrated that music could serve as both personal expression and social influence, bridging generations and cultures. Even without a microphone in hand, Cliff's presence was felt everywhere through the spirit of his songs, reminding the world that true artistry transcends performance. Preserving his legacy. After his passing, Jimmy Cliff's family announced the posthumous release of his memoir Songs of the Soul, chronicling his life from Somerton to Montego Bay. Plans for the Jimmy Cliff Cultural Center in Montego Bay aim to preserve his contributions, with exhibits, instruments, and a small performance stage for young artists. Somerton High School renamed its music room in his honor, ensuring students recognize the local boy who became a global icon. The Many Rivers Foundation, established in his name, will provide scholarships to underprivileged children, reflecting Cliff's lifelong dedication to sharing music and opportunity. These initiatives ensure that his legacy continues to inspire, educate, and elevate future generations of musicians and listeners alike. Music as the final voice. Even in his final days, Jimmy Cliff remained connected to music, often asking to hear recordings of his classics. His family honored his request for a simple farewell, scattering his ashes into the sea and holding no elaborate ceremonies. For Cliff, music was not a career, but a life's calling, a vessel for emotion, faith, and storytelling. Jamaican radio stations continue to play his songs daily, while statues, memorials, and scholarships preserve his spirit. Fans both young and old find inspiration in his melodies, which continue to serve as reminders of perseverance, hope, and cultural pride. Through every note, Jimmy Cliff's voice transcends mortality, embodying the belief that music born from the soul can truly be immortal, an immortal legacy. Jimmy Cliff's life journey, from a small village in Somerton to global stages, exemplifies resilience, creativity, and purpose. His contributions to reggae shaped the world's understanding of Jamaica and its culture. Beyond music, his life embodied dignity, faith, and a commitment to community. Today, statues, cultural centers, and foundations ensure his influence endures. Students, musicians, and audiences alike continue to find meaning in his songs, inspired by a man who chose to let his music speak louder than words. Jimmy Cliff's melodies echo not only as entertainment but as messages of hope, courage, and unity. In every corner of the world, his life and work remind us that music is more than sound. It is the living pulse of the human spirit. Remembering through music. As Jamaica and the world honor Jimmy Cliff, his legacy remains a source of inspiration. Young artists cite him as a foundational influence, while older generations cherish memories of concerts and recordings. Radio stations continue to play his timeless tracks, keeping the energy and message of his music alive. In Montego Bay, local communities bring flowers, play his songs, and gather quietly by the shore to remember a life devoted to creativity and love. Each note of his music is a reminder that though the man has passed, the spirit of Jimmy Cliff endures. His voice lives on in the songs he left behind, a bridge between past and present, teaching all who listen that music has the power to transcend generations and tell stories no words alone could capture.